Okay, before we get into the podcast this week, I just want to thank our sponsor for the month, Triptych Press. Our buddies over at Triptych Press specialize in getting new businesses up and running, as well as keeping old businesses running. They provide design services, including logos and branding, websites, and e-commerce shops. They'll design and print all your brochures, mailers, banners, and posters. Whether you're just starting out or your business needs a makeover, visit www.triptychpress.com for all your design, online, and printing needs.
Right now I'm in talks with this new company. It's trying to do like a aftershock thing, and then heavy metal right now.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to get into the soft wood, which is their Mad Magazine. You know, they're doing a new thing like that. But I've been talking with both of their editors that I know. So yeah, what's here?
All right. Okay, we're recording.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, I use the phone call as a sound check.
Oh, cool.
Did you get his personal phone call on the podcast? That seems
No, I
unprofessional.
deleted that afterwards.
Guys, it's fine. It's fine. It was negative.
So welcome back, Inebri-ites. This is Andy, the Inebri-art podcast. We are back again at the craft beer cellar because they love us here and work here. So why not record here? And I don't know, a few weeks ago we were contacted by a former guest who has more to say. So
Can I give them a hint?
Oh, sure.
Tiger.
Do you think they're going to get that?
Yeah, probably not. Do you have the avid listener? Is anyone? Will they check? They'll check the Wikipedia.
Like we have listeners.
Yeah. Well, no. No, I mean, like, who's
implying that we have listeners?
Well, listen. Your mom is the sweetest lady. I mean, no, you know what? I just want to know if there's like a Wikipedia for the page where they go back and check and they'll be like Tiger. Oh, that's the rep from the thing.
How long does it take to set up a Wikipedia page, Fish? Can we do that like right now?
Not right now because
set up.
I'll put it on the to-do list.
Set up an Inebri-art podcast page that just says Tiger.
Yeah, that's the only
podcast. Tiger.
It seemed like a lot of work for nothing there. Why did we do that?
That's gonna be like 4 people who think that's funny.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ben.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ben Goldsmith. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me back earlier than guests are allowed to. I think I snuck in, didn't I?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at the calendar. I'm like, it's almost a year, but you have stuff to talk about.
That's true.
I mean, that's kind of the year hiatus is kind of like, go do things so we have more to talk about. But
and things have been done. Yeah, things have been done. I actually brought with me when we were here last time, myself and Pat, we were promoting the album, the Seance from Kickstarter.
You're right.
And that solely thanks to you guys alone.
Thanks, Mom.
We got funded, and we made the album, and I brought it, and I'm showing you guys. It's here on the table, and
it's
it looks
very cool.
Looks amazing. And
I wish I had a turntable to listen to it.
Yeah, well, we do have the CD. You know, you had that option on the Kickstarter, and you didn't take it. And now I'm finding this out.
Fair enough.
Added to the Wikipedia page. So, yeah, in that time, so we got that funded. We made that. And then we've also done a couple more Seance Room issues. But then we've also, this is the big news, is that Beyond the Demon, which you're sitting right next to, that Ben Templesmith cover art, and the entire interior is tattoo art, classic Sailor Jerry style tattoo art.
It's very neat.
Thanks, man.
The idea is like really cool, and it's one of those like, wow, I'm surprised no one had thought to do this.
Well,
one of those kind of things.
Do you know why? I found out why no one's done that.
Why?
Because apparently, so I was at the Previews headquarter, which is Previews sort of is the same stuff as like Diamond, which does all the distribution for comic books.
Yep.
And I was talking to a good friend of mine who works there, and he's like, you kind of if this wasn't already published through a publisher who had Diamond distribution, we wouldn't take this. And what do you mean? They're like, we don't do art like that. Like, it's just, that's not what they do, and certainly not, because it's a floppy. It's a 22-page, single issue, full story, but they don't do that kind of art, they told me. So that's why no one's done it, because they don't get Diamond distribution. Or at least...
They don't do that kind of... That's very weird.
Yeah, well, that's part of the...
So if you were independent...
Yeah.
They wouldn't have accepted it.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So I sort of backdoored my way with this book. And so it's cool because the first one, we were just doing it as a one-shot. And then the reception was so good. And then obviously getting Ben Templesmith to do the covers for me was...
And we talked about this when you showed it to me first.
Yeah.
It does not look like Ben Templesmith.
No, in a good way. Yeah.
Like, it's a great cover.
So it's...
But it looks like tattoo art, which I don't think of.
With Ben, yeah. And he's doing that... I didn't even ask him to. He sort of just presented that of like, I'll try to ape this style, which it was awesome, you know?
Yeah.
So we're doing 4 of them. Each issue is going to be a different style of tattoo. So the next one's pinup girls, hot rods, that type of thing, like greaser style. And then the next one will be Eastern traditional, and the one after that will be Samoan traditional. So each one's going to be a one-shot story, sort of based or inspired by that tattoo art. And with Ben on the cover doing his version of that, and Davey Broyles on the inside killing it with that like classical tattoo art, but also mixing it with the comic book structure and using, like he uses in this one, because it's Sailor Jerry style, he uses like girders to break the panels up. He uses the night sky to break the panels up. He uses lots of ropes to break the panels up, because these are all sort of indicative of that time period and that sort of that art.
So how do you change your writing style? Or do you change your writing style for each one of those stories to...
sorry, that was my phone. I did not turn the volume off.
We have one rule. We didn't tell him the rule, but we have one rule.
But now everyone knows that the SNL skit. Remember, that's that ringtone.
Oh, I didn't hear what
Da Bears.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay. I heard it say something, but
I'm not even a Bears fan. I love it so much.
Yeah.
So
writing style.
Writing style. No, not any more than I would for any other project. You know, in terms of the structure, no, I'll still give him the panel breakdowns and the page breakdowns and what I want on each thing. And I was occasionally, especially with that first script where I wasn't working with Davey before, I was like, let's add in, like, I know that that the sea compass is big in sailor tattoos and it's like doing a lot of research and be like, these are different stand. So
you find like different elements to kind of work into the story.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
What of all these can we add to it to make it really hit home with this thing, as opposed to just like, oh, that's cute.
Because you don't want to be like, oh, so we're Sailor Jerry art, so the aliens come down. And,
right. Yeah. And that's when you tailor the story. But I'd be doing that anyway to whatever project I'm working on, whatever thing we're doing. And with this one, the tattoo art came first, because I knew Davey wanted to work. It was actually kind of cool. Davey came up to us at Motor City Comic Con in Detroit. He talked to Travis, the editor-in-chief, and was like, and Travis sent him to me and was like, I think this kid will do something. And in our game where we're at, it's a lot more about how much work are you going to put in, and not necessarily so much like, are you the most talented guy in the room? Because it's like being with the prettiest girl at the prom. Like, it's not as rewarding as you imagine it to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So apparently Davey had something going for him that Travis saw, and I said, sure, let's do something. What do you do? And he's like, well, I'm a tattoo artist. And I was like, okay, cool. So you've never done a comic book? And he's like, nope. And I was like, okay, all right, we can work with this. And then so we've got the ball rolling on.
So was there a lot that you kind of had like instruct him on, like, this is how things are done in comics, or did he pick it up quickly, or he do his own thing? Yeah,
well, a mix of all three of those things. He picked it up pretty quick on a lot of stuff, and then I would tell him certain things, especially like in terms of just what we do, like on the road, like how these things all go, and then he picked up a lot of the slack himself, and then really went for it. I mean, he's I now see what Travis saw in him after having worked with him for the better part of the last year, and it makes a lot of sense now. So, but yeah, so we got that going on, and then the big thing we got going on, which is why I am here.
Oh, is a bigger thing than this?
Yeah, dude. There's the bigger thing.
You're just full of surprises.
I am.
It's not really surprising.
And here's a dragon. No, I don't know. So we are currently right now. So speaking of changing your art style to suit a new thing, we're working on a book called Chongo, the Broken Veil, and we have an Indiegogo and Kickstarter running for it right now.
Okay.
And so what this story is this boy Ruben. He's a young man. He was endowed with the gift to be able to see all of our demons as actual demons. So the things like whatever you're most insecure about, whatever your fears are, that thing is a demon that lives with you and looks a certain way to represent that. So the best example is like, all right, you see a much older woman who is all plastic surgery. I mean, head to toe, she is plastic, right? She's got some guy's kids through college. Yeah. Let's put it that way. Paying for all the plastic surgery. And she's sitting there next to this young woman who is a wonderfully beautiful woman in her own right, but clearly feels down on herself. Well, she looks up at that woman and looks at her and thinks to herself, like, you know what? At least I'm not that. Like, that is, what an extreme that is. Like, I hope that I can love myself enough not to go to that extreme.
Right.
What happened is that plastic surgery woman's demon looked over and ate the shit out of that other girl's demon. So now that demon's dead. So she feels better. So it's like there are actual events that are happening because the demon world that we just don't see. But Ruben does see these things.
Okay, so basically your changes in mood are in part because of these wars, fights
that we're not even aware of. Yeah. So Ruben, he can see this, and it all takes place in lots of Spanish American culture. So like Santee Alley in Los Angeles, which is an open air market where it's all Mexican trade. It's all this wonderful food, spices, and culture, and takes a huge place in there. And so it's this really cool new character, and the other thing that I love about it too is that the biggest relationships are between the mother, the son, and the son's demon. So it's like this weird buddy cop thing.
So the kid who sees a demon has a demon.
Oh yeah, well he's got like the demon apparently, Esu, who is like the one. He's kind of a little shit.
The one in like a Neo kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. They do force him to take either a blue or red pill. Unfortunately, they're both suppositories, and he makes them take them both at the same time. So, really, he's like saddled with the one, and that's why he can see all these things. Yeah. And obviously, there's more to the story than just that. That's but yeah, my favorite thing is that you don't see a lot of mother-son relationships in comics that are like fuel the story.
You don't really see that in a lot of
culture, right? Yeah. So it was cool. It was really cool to do, and I'm thrilled with it. It looks gorgeous. It looks like so we got this guy Jason Smith. Jason Smith did all the colors for Spencer and Locke. Did you ever read that book? No. Okay, wonderful, absolutely terrific book. But he does these really wonderful, like strong, vivid colors that are almost on like everything's like on a really, really, really saturated side. Like there's not a lot of pastels in his work. Yeah. Everything's very saturated. And then Caesar's doing these hard ink lines, so it actually turns out to be very Mike Mignola.
Okay, yeah.
So we're doing this right now. But the unfortunate thing is, dude, it's dying on the vine, man. I have a very loyal group of friends and readers who like what I do, and Caesar also has a group of loyal people. He works for some comics tribe, which is making waves right now, doing some really good stuff. Did you read the book Sync?
Nope.
Did you see that? Huge recommendation.
Okay.
On Sync. Road of Bones also. Wait, was it Road of Bones or was it? Yeah, Road of Bones. No. Wailing Blade.
Wailing Blade?
Same writer. That's why I messed that up. Rob Dueck. But we have, and we were like, well, this is insane. What is going on here? And we found out that, so we put it on Indiegogo, only to find out later that apparently Indiegogo is very heavily associated with the Comicsgate group, which, if the people don't know...
Which I had not heard of.
You had not heard of this, but no. Fish did. Fish knew. Yeah.
Fish is a giant nerd.
Well, because he's active on the Comicsgate 4chan.
That is hurtful on many levels. I don't know if I'm more offended that you think I'm a comic skater or that you think I've spent any time on 4chan.
I think the fact
one does beget the other.
I was going to say, the fact that you're not one means you're not the other.
I have standards, damn it.
But Comicsgate is a group of people who believe that comics should be one certain way, and that one certain way typically revolves around white men.
When you first said it to me, I thought you said Comicsgate, as in like a Watergate.
Well, that's what it's. Yeah,
okay.
That's what it's in reference to.
So is
because I guess sometime in like 2008, we all decided that anything that was shitty was just gate.
Yeah.
But to me, that implies like a conspiracy of some kind. Like,
it's
I don't know. I think gate has sort of become the ubiquitous catch-all for like this is a thing now.
This is a shitty thing.
Yeah. I know that a lot of my close friends, people I grew up with, people that now read my comics, especially if you've read Seance Room, are certainly not that friendly or familiar with Comicsgate. Much more so on the other side of things. So I found out a lot of people would not back that, didn't want to do that.
So how is that affecting Indiegogo specifically? Is it those are just the type of people that subscribe? Well, not subscribe.
You know what?
Indiegogo, but
I wish I had more information for you. The minute I sort of like found out that this was a thing, I kind of backed off.
Yeah.
My response was to say, okay, well then let's start the Kickstarter instead.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Kickstarter is probably about 3 days away from actually being launched as of today, July 15th.
Okay, so the Kickstarter is kind of like, the Indiegogo is not working. Let's move to this other platform.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people would prefer to put their money to places where they feel morally more aligned.
Yeah.
You know,
is it the Indiegogo people themselves, like the people who run Indiegogo?
I don't know. I don't know because again, it's like I'm not trying.
What are their favorite colors? Let me ask you other questions that you don't know.
Teal. Because at the end of the day, it's like as a creator, I have specific opinions, right?
Yeah.
No matter what. We all do. I am a huge proponent in free speech.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely believe that in a perfect society, we are allowed to our opinions. Now, the problem then gets to be is like
people have shitty opinions.
Ill-informed.
Yeah.
Because it's like what's that judgment of that shitty? That judgment is that it's an ill-informed. It's probably an opinion based out of fear.
Yep.
Is my biggest thing that I always find is that people who choose to belittle another person for something that is beyond their control is based out of inferiority complex, which is based out of fear, which is something that we all experience.
And usually like a lack of interaction as well.
Sure, yeah, certainly. We're right. No, without context, how can you truly? Yeah, but so that all being said, and it sounds very obvious like how I feel about this, but at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is, it's like I'm writing a book about a cool mother and son story that has some rad looking demons, and it's a 2-part graphic novel. Each one's a double-sized issue, and it has nothing to do with any of this stuff. So I don't want to get caught up in any of that stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, all right. If I was writing a story that was specifically about these things, yeah, dude, we'd go to town. We could talk about it all day long.
Right.
But, come up and talk to me at conventions and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk. But yeah, so right now what we're doing is the Kickstarter is about a couple days away from launching, but the Indiegogo is still running. So we're gonna just leave that up running. There's no there's no status quo for like how much you make. You get to keep whatever people donate.
Okay.
So even if we don't make like whatever original goal we had for that, at least then we get to use that, and we get to use that to fund whatever is a supplement, supplemental to the Kickstarter, right? So in that way, if you feel comfortable doing Indiegogo and you don't, that's fine. If you want to do Kickstarter, that's fine too, because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Like,
you just want to make the book.
I just want to make the book, and admittedly, I think we made a mistake going only with Indiegogo early on. So we've now amended that, and you guys can go on and you can get a picture of you drawn with your demon, Caesar will create your demon.
Do we have to tell him our deepest, darkest secret?
Nah, you can pick a lighter one. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. You know,
this one time
you can go skunked beer and then have him do a cool skunked beer demon. You know, with foam at the head and a skunk's tail and shit. That'd be awesome. Or you can do. I used to do these postcards on these vintage postcards, and I would write stories on the back of them for custom stories. Like you tell me,
cool.
your skunk beer story, and I'd write you a skunk beer story in the back of these postcards. I don't do them anymore because I just don't have any time at the conventions. But so you can get that too, and then you can get drawn into the book with your demon sitting on your shoulder while you're in the book. You know, so there's some really cool stuff. Just go to the Kickstarter for Chongo, Broken Veil, and Indiegogo. Broken Veil is there too. Again, I don't care, just as long as you guys get a really cool book at the end of the day.
So it's about getting it. It's about getting your work done.
Yeah. You know, and again, if you read Seance Room number 1, then we can talk. There's some, edgier, pushier stuff in that one for sure.
Yeah.
But this is not that. This is something brand new.
So it is the story. I mean, obviously, it's not lighthearted.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, it's certainly a comedy based. The best way to describe.
Well, what's the age range that would read
it? You could go, comfortably 13 to up to any, PG-13. Yeah. You know, it is funny. To me, it would fit very well in a Focus Features sort of territory. If you remember those movies.
Yeah.
Something maybe even a little bit lighter hearted than that. Honestly, those are pretty heavy. I don't know. Just go read it.
Trying to help you sell it, man.
Oh,
you gotta give people information.
Well, I can definitely tell you this is that, like I said, one of the best parts about it is it's in 2 parts.
Yeah,
and they're both double-sized issues.
Okay,
so you get half of the story right away, right with this, and then the other half's the next one, and that's it. Done.
Are you going to do a Kickstarter for the second one, or is that?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Well, this one should go well, and then give it probably about another year or so.
Yep.
We'll have the next one ready to go, and Caesar's already working on the next one. It's each one's about. I think we're looking at somewhere in the 45 to 55 page range per book. So it's a big boy, and I've never seen that done.
Yeah,
and I wanted to do that. I wanted to give people something a little bit more, especially because there is so much time in between them.
Right, and that's one of those things. Is I've through my life, I've seen a lot of independent books start up and they get 2 issues and then disappear.
Yeah. So at least if we get 2 issues and disappear.
That's fine.
Probably for the better. Everyone
it's over, yeah.
They won't have to listen to me anymore, and then they can just read the book by itself. Yeah.
And I've heard of Kickstarters kind of, taking forever. I mean, you were on in less than a year ago, and the Kickstarter's sitting right there.
Yeah.
I can see it. It's right there.
Yeah. And if I had my way, it would have been way early.
Still, that's a really decent turnaround for that sort of thing.
It didn't feel that way when you're sitting in it.
Well, yeah.
But I appreciate that. Yeah, no, and as a vote of confidence, yeah, if you guys, especially if this is the first time you're hearing me on the show, Tiger, and you don't know what Tiger means,
go back and listen.
Go back and listen, because that was a blast.
That was a lot of fun. It was one of the few that I felt like I had little control over. It was just kind of but those are fun because it was a little roller coaster. I don't really know these guys. I've never met them before.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
And you guys were just being really silly, and I'm like, okay, sure, let's see how it goes. And it was a really fun episode.
Yeah. Did people like it? Were they?
It did get downloaded.
Oh, all right. Good.
I mean, my mom's an avid listener.
She's so wonderful. Yeah. How is she?
We'll skip over that.
All right, you got it.
I was just playing along.
Oh, okay. If we want to talk parents, dude, look at this real quick. So look at this. Do you see on my arm right now? There's a scar that's probably about 4 or 5 inches long, right?
Yep.
I just got this the other day. My dad's passed away. I have his flag. He was buried in military honors. He wasn't even there in the military. I think he was a computer guy. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. So my relationship with him was great. So we have this flag, and I'm moving. I just moved to a new place, and the flag is in this metal wooden box. Wooden box, and the wooden box falls. Now I'm holding things, so I don't. It's like, all right, well, let's let these go. The wooden thing cuts all the way down.
That's a serious
the whole
scar.
way. Yeah, it's legit, right?
8 inches.
Yeah, it's actually right. And it's like almost like Two-Face situation going, because it's also summer, so it's like I'm tanning over it. So now the thing is that my father gets to emotionally scar me and physically scar me from beyond the grave. Like he figured out a way to do that. Which, as far as parent thing goes, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to do that to my children someday.
To scar them from beyond the grave.
From beyond the grave to just
if there's a way to do
keep
that,
knocking them down, man.
No, but as I said, I was playing along. My parents have both passed, so that's why.
Okay.
Your mom downloads. I'm like, oh, sure.
So she's doing about the same as the last time I saw you.
Pretty much, yeah.
I tell you, it's actually pretty funny because do you play the game? It's a little morbid, but do you play the game the Dead Parents Club? I play that with people. I'll be like, oh, are you part of the?
I say like super inappropriate things.
Oh, okay,
like I'm always like, well, the good thing is I can be Batman now because I'm an orphan.
Because you're an orphan, yeah. Well, because the thing is like that shit sucks so bad that the only way you can get through it is just to like joke. I mean, what are you gonna? Listen, the thing I hate the most is the people that'll come to me and be like, oh man, it's just, and you're like, listen. I empathize with you, but what more do you want from me out of that? Like, what am I just going to get dragged down? We're both going to sit and cry.
And like,
with each other?
I have very like gallows humor, anyways. Yeah. So it's like, so did my father. So it's kind of like
it's a very New England thing too. Is to be like, I think we it's like the place that started off where everyone had smallpox and fucking died, and then started killing each other because they thought they were witches. Like that's the place we grew up, right? Right. So right off the bat, you're already kind of you're sort of locked into that kind of humor. I think.
One of my favorite moments in regards to this is, I draw a lot, so I don't do really much anymore. I tend to carry my calendar now instead of a sketchbook, which I don't really know what that says about me.
Yeah, wait, do you draw on your calendar?
No, but I schedule shit like crazy. Like I'm like, I have like 45 seconds free on Thursday. Let's schedule something.
Do you actively seek to be that busy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh. Yeah. You hiding from something there?
What stop looking at my demon.
That's some hosting right there. Damn it.
So I always had a sketchbook, and I was sitting on the bar, and we were out for drinks one night, and my buddy knocked over a beer, and it falls more or less on my sketchbook. But if you put your sketchbook on the bar, you know shit's gonna get spilled on it. That's part of it. And so he knocked his beer on my sketchbook, and I happened to have a sketch in there that I had done while I was sitting with my mother in the hospital room. She had cancer, and she was going through like chemo and all sorts of stuff, and like she would like to watch me draw, so I would draw to kind of like entertain her. And when she was in the hospital, I drew that stupid pig from I think it was a Geico commercial, the one that was like hanging out, the one that was like wee wee, yeah, and because she was fascinated by it, so like I left it in her room, and when she passed, someone gave it back to me, and it was just loosely stuck in to the back of the sketchbook. So he spills the beer on the sketchbook. And I'm like, dude, and he's like, well, why is your sketchbook up there? Blah, 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 blah. Like trying to like make it my fault. Which
classic, diversion. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's just got the sketch in there that I drew from my dead mother.
Mom loved.
And like instantly, like, oh my god, I'm so, and like me was just like, and like I'm like, no, it's fine. She's fucking dead. She won't know. Like,
oh Lord, you leaned into it.
Oh yeah, big time. And bastard. I had the most fun.
Oh my god. I think it's keeping a lot of that stuff now because I'm 32 now, so I'm at that point where I'm like,
oh my god,
I know. Well, listen, hold on. It's not that I'm old; it's just that I've hit that point of like, all right, there's a lot of things from my my father that I've held on to for getting on to about Jesus Christ, like 6 years now, right? Like 6 or 7 years, and it's like I've brought them from 3 different locations.
Yeah,
and it's getting to that point where you're like, I mean, what am I keeping this? Like,
right. It's on a shelf or in a box or in a
and it's like I'm not a religious person in the least, and so I don't even think that like he's watching me and being like, again, just my opinion. If you guys feel a different way, I love that, and I'm thrilled about it. But I don't even feel like he's watching me, so it's like I'm just doing this out of like a sense of a duty, I guess.
Yeah.
So
like someone gave it to you, and they're like, "Here, this is your father's," and you're like, "Okay, I can now never throw this away."
Yeah, and I almost, geez, it's the shittiest thing I'm ever going to say. I almost would welcome like someone to spill some beer on some of my stuff, so I could be like, all right, well, at least I don't have to feel guilty or stressed out about this item anymore.
Yeah.
Not that there are certainly things like a ring that he had that I keep that like no matter what. Like he always wore this Italian boot.
Yeah.
On a chain, and I still have that because I literally don't remember a day where he wasn't wearing that.
Right.
So I have that still, but like other stuff, I don't know. I so much. Yeah.
Do you go by his grave?
Occasionally, you know what? He's actually buried at the cemetery on the Cape Turnabout. So I think we're like minutes from it.
Yeah, maybe 30 minutes.
Okay,
no, not even. Probably 15.
No. Yeah. So I do occasionally, and it's tough, man. I mean, I won't lie.
It's just funny because I've been to my parents' grave one time.
Really?
Ever. I just don't feel the need to.
Yeah, I occasionally will, but it's always tough. I don't do well with it. I've never been to a proper funeral. I was in California.
Yeah.
When this happened, I came back when like I sort of found out like it was maybe going to happen.
Yeah.
But then like the fucking guy, listen. The guy.
Then he goes and recovers. Fuck him.
Here's the thing. In classic
I came from California.
Do you know how much that plane ticket costs? In classic New England male fashion, he was like a stubborn prick, even about dying.
Yeah.
So it's like we'd had so many scares before, and he just didn't take care of himself, which is why I try to be a little better about it now.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So it's like, all right, well, we've been through this before. I've literally been through this before.
Yeah.
A couple times. So I go back. I was like, he's gonna make a recovery. He won't be the same.
So you'd be starting like, are you for real this time?
Yeah, exactly.
Boy cried wolf. I'm just saying.
Right. So next time I'm not coming home. So then like days later, it ended up happening after I got back. So I couldn't get back for the funeral, so I didn't go. And so I haven't been to like my grandparents, and like I there's something. First of all, I don't like, again, not religious. I don't like going to churches. I don't like being in them.
Yeah.
I love the way they look. I think they're beautiful. I just fucking hate being in them. Because a huge part of it too is like you have to act a certain way.
Yeah.
And you have to do certain things. And if you step out of line, people are gonna like
give you the side eye.
And my whole life I've really, really, really tried so hard to do the opposite of that,
right.
where it's like I want to do the crazy, weird, fun things. Like, so going to that place is a monolith of
it's not a very open, welcoming place,
right? Yeah. So, and then add the fact that you're dealing with the most traumatic thing we can deal with as humans, which is mortality.
I actually almost missed my father's wake.
I miss my father too. Thank you for saying that.
I said,
wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry. that's your.
Yeah.
I was getting that's your. You spilled beer on my thing moment for you. So you missed it. You almost missed it.
Almost missed it.
Intentionally? Did you, or did you do the subconscious thing of like get too hammered in the?
No, it wasn't even it. And it's one of those like I don't believe in afterlife, watching down, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those moments where you're like, okay, that was just fucking weird. My father, one of the things that he was kind of like a blue-collar worker, so he had lots of different jobs.
You're also literally wearing a blue collar as we're saying
but I am
this.
not a blue-collar worker, which anyone who's seen me wield a tool knows. And one of the things he did was plow snow.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I owned a comic book shop, and I had booked myself into the now defunct Boston Comic Extravaganza, which was in Boston. That's about where that stopped.
Who put that on? Do you remember?
I do. We'll talk about that off. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's an off mic thing. And so I'm like, it goes till, I don't know, 4 or whatever it is. The wake was like 6, and I'm like, I got to do it. I'm already paid. I don't want to sit at home. It's not like, it gives me something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of the house, because that's sitting around at that time is horrible. It snowed like a motherfucker. I got so like snow sticking to signs, couldn't read street signs. I'm like crossing the Charles. I'm like, I've never crossed the Charles before to get here. I squeaked in like maybe 45 minutes before the funeral, the wake ended, because it took me so long to get back from Boston.
Which is wild, right? If he had a snowplow.
You're like, oh, a snowplow. Yeah. Which is one of those, it's just coincidence.
No, but it's a beautiful coincidence.
Oh, yeah,
is what it is.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all giving our own meaning to these things, right? Because it's like, if that was any other day, it would have been a fucking snowy day.
Day to get stuck in Boston.
But you give it that meaning, and it becomes beautiful because of that. Like it's everything, right? Like everything is just dirt and sand and shit until you build a building, and then you put a family in it, and then it becomes a home, right? So I think I love those things, man. I actually, to be honest with you, that story that you just said was something that I would write in a comic book in a heartbeat. Like that to me is the absolute. Distilled.
The Dead Dad comic?
No. Yeah, it's coming. Don't worry. I have a buddy, Josh Dahl, who literally says like every comic is about father issues, like whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
And but no, that distilled moment of humanity in a mundane situation, or seemingly, until you view it through this certain lens, and it's all of a sudden it's this beautiful, or ordinary situation. So yeah, man, that to me is like. That's very real. You know, isn't it weird to like be a person who believes in the what was the word you said? Beautiful coincidence, but not believe in fate. Like I don't believe in fate.
No,
but beautiful coincidence is the closest that I will ever come to that.
Where to me, it's more. To me, that's how your brain works, and certain people don't have beautiful coincidences because if you're a negative person, you don't look for the beautiful one. You look for the Starbucks fucked up my coffee this morning. Go figure.
I guess just one of those days. I
got in a fight with the wife this morning. Now Starbucks fucks up my coffee.
Yeah.
Opposed to the they fucked up my coffee in the exact same way that my mom would always make the coffee. My dad it's more. It speaks more to who you are than what is actually really going on.
I think you could say that about almost everything that anyone does.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're so unaware of how much of a Rorschach test everything is.
And it's one of those. It's never about you. You make it about you.
Yeah.
So it speaks to you.
You know, and because I will say this to everyone's credit, I did not go to my dad's funeral, and no one made me feel bad about that. I think mostly because they knew that. I couldn't handle it.
Right.
It was not something that I could do.
Yeah.
And I've done other things because I ended up becoming. My mom and him were going through this divorce at the time, so I ended up becoming the executor of his will. So I'm the one that pulled the plug.
Oh man.
And I could.
That's rough.
But I could do that because I had to do that. Versus going to the funeral, which to me feels like a superfluous thing. It's like, oh, the shitty shit's been done.
Right, yeah, it's over.
It's and I for sure do not want a funeral to force people.
The funeral is more about the funeral for the living people.
At the very least, like no fucking suits.
Yeah,
no. I don't wear suits now. Look at me. I'm wearing.
Sun's out, guns out.
I'm wearing a shirt that I cut the sleeves off of.
Yeah.
I was like, this has too much fabric.
Well, let me ask you, is there so when my father passed, it kind of gives you that, like, introspective, like, life is finite.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I decided how I was going to... You have two options.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit around and be like, my dad's dead. Or you can be like, we all die, and I am going to remember him in the way I want to remember him.
Yeah.
So every year on the anniversary of his death, I do a shot of Southern Comfort, which I do not like.
That's actually sweet. That's really sweet.
Then I sent...
Both Southern Comfort is sweet, but also you doing that is sweet.
Well, it was also like the first thing that I drank to extreme excess.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah, like blackout drunk on it. It was not... No.
This is a fun fact.
Okay.
Southern Comfort 100 proof is the reason why I had a married woman lose her ring. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I was single. I was not with my lovely and beautiful fiance at the time. This was, that's Southern Comfort. 100 is a dangerous friend.
I don't believe in Satan, but it's Satan's liquor. So then I do that. I do the shot, and then I send out a text message, and it's a group message.
Yeah.
And it goes out to people. And the first year I sent it out, I was in a rough spot. I was getting divorced, blah, blah, blah. And people were like calling me. They're like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm fine." And I just say, "You're important to me, and this is the time of year I'm going to stop and say, you're important to me,
that's
raise a drink
man.
to my dad." And so now people get it and they expect it. So
well, you know what? That's what like Dia de los Muertos is, right? Like,
what
what Halloween should be in a lot of ways. And
yeah.
You're taking. I mean, I don't think there's anything more fulfilling than to take a moment to appreciate the people that you have and that you've lost, and not because someone told you to. You fucking picked the day.
Yep.
You picked the way you were going to do it, and that's what you do.
And to me, then I can rest assured that everybody knows how I feel about them.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So it's about me.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's that I know that you know that you're important.
Well, do you know what? There's it's almost like a weird through the looking glass thing where it's like if you acknowledge that it's kind of from a selfish place, it then becomes selfless, right? Because you're saying like, oh yeah, no, I'm doing this for me. This is something that I want. But then at the same time, it's like, so we all know that you are taking time out of your day to think of us, as opposed to like I'm taking time out of the day to think of you guys. Now tell me how great I am. So it's actually it seems counterintuitive, but I think it actually is more sincere.
July 7th is the day. I'm like, tell me how great I am.
July, you want me? Oh, I missed it.
I don't know. I'm going to start making that now. July 7th. I'm just going to start sending that text out, being like, tell me how great I am.
This is a new holiday.
Yeah,
You've just invented.
Right middle of the summer. What else you got to do? Tell me how great I am.
Oh man, that's you know what that is? That's Inebri-art artificial. That's what that is. So what were we talking about though?
Being kind of selfless and not selfless. Selfish and not selfish.
But certainly to appreciate the people around you. Soko, you do the Soko, shot for him every year. I in a couple of weeks I will be getting a tattoo, and I've never. I can't say I have a tattoo. I have 2 leaves, 2 oak leaves.
You have one on your forearm. I can fucking see.
Oh no, I have a couple. But I was going to say I'm not the guy to get the like, 7/15/09. Rest in peace. Always love, bro. That's not my brand. It's just not. But I do have a tattoo for my sister. She's still alive and doing quite well. And she has, but we have, so I have family. I do have familial tattoos, but this one is certainly inspired by the better qualities of my father. Now, there weren't a lot, I mean, it was a real mixed bag.
Yeah.
Real Mr. Grab Bag situation on the dad's good qualities and the bad qualities. But one of the better qualities was that his taste in art is predominantly what still inspires me. So like he introduced me to all the great horror movies, like, and I'm not talking about Friday the 13th and shit like that. I'm talking about like he was the guy that first showed me Freaked. You know that movie? Yeah. He was the guy that first showed me Blood-Sucking Freaks. He was the guy that first showed me all the creep shows. Yeah. Like,
how old were you when he showed them to you?
Pretty young. I think I do all right. I've actually, I think about
you're
this.
Fine.
You're fine.
No, you're fine. Put the knife away. You're fine.
Tell me I'm fine. It's July. Today's my tell me I'm fine day. I don't even.
July 12th, 14th?
July 9th,
14th,
15th,
15th.
Hey, there we go. The Ides of July. Oh, that's something. So, but like in those, and he was the guy that introduced me to, like, he got me my first Eric Clapton CD, and he was the guy that took me to Jurassic Park when I was like, he's the guy that everything that I like in terms of pop culture really kind of came from him. I've come to realize now. Yeah. And the biggest one of all of those, which has been one of the guiding factors of my life, is Rocky Horror Picture Show. He introduced me to that, and one of my only real big regrets was that I could never go with him to a live one. We did go to a couple of cool things, like I took him to see Cheech and Chong.
Oh, nice.
Which that was, I mean, for him that was massive.
Yeah.
I took him to see that. Like, I took him to see Santana. So we did get a lot of those. Again, mixed bag, real mixed bag. So, but I am on August 3rd. I'm getting a giant pinup girl version of Frankenfurter.
Oh, nice.
On my leg with like because it's inspired by all the classic tattoo art we've been looking at for these books. So it's like him sitting on top of the lips, with like his legs out and like sitting on it with the boss arm, like facing out, and with a couple roses, and then the beautiful like the banner work in all the classic tattoos. It's going to say "Rose tint my world." So and that one, I mean, that is my dad's name was Frank. Yeah. Too. Weirdly enough, I didn't even think about that till just now. And so
what a beautiful coincidence.
Yeah. Oh!
So you have a job, I can do it.
That was really nice.
When you don't bring someone to like talk so much, I get to talk a little bit.
We found out he was secretly like, oh, I wanted to talk. Guys, I have things to say. I know. Pat and I.
That happens a lot, but it's fine.
It's so true. No, this is great. I love this. This is a totally different style. Because usually I would by now I would have just been like, weird. That's a silly thing, and moved on to a more like affable or placid thing. But I this is great. I feel comfortable. I think I love what you're saying, and I'm happy to do this. Plus, honestly, I've been doing so many fucking podcasts that I'm like, this is more interesting to me than talking about the books at this point.
And it's one of those things to me. That's what I love about our podcast is we have those episodes like when you guys are on. That's just zany and silly, and then we have other ones that are the ones I like the least. And this, you're welcome to mention your comic as much, are the ones who are solely sales pitchy.
Yeah, right.
Because you're just like, all right, I get it. You have a book. All right, let's find out who you are.
Yeah.
Because I think that someone will read your book because of the topic, but someone will become your fan because of you.
Yeah, certainly. You mean, in an ideal world, right? Because then they're buying into who
you are,
your process, like your mindset when it comes to art, not just the fact that Ben Templesmith did a cover, right?
Well, that was a big selling point for me because I'm like, holy shit, I love
it's a big selling point for me too. he was the I told him this too. He's the first comic that I quit the comic because he stopped doing the art.
I'm waiting for him to do, and he could have done a snuck in recently because I met him at a convention a few years ago. And we were doing the podcast at the time, and he was so nice.
Very.
And I'm like, hey man, if you come back in the area, do you think maybe we could get you on the podcast? And he's like, you can ask, but I'm only going to say yes. And I'm like, fucking sweet. And it's like, I mean, we maybe were like 20 episodes into the time using shitty mics, and so he was just so nice that I'm like, I'm itching for him to come back because I love his artwork.
He was I mean, on top of the fact that he's unbelievably talented and really made his own,
ridiculously talented,
did his own thing, you know. The guy's super nice too. Like I've become friendly with him, and I don't feel disingenuous.
Does he ask about me?
Quite a bit. Quite like an uncomfortable amount.
Yeah, all right, that's cool.
Where it's like I'm just like, dude, can we talk about something else? And he's really terrific. And actually, I was just texting with Ashley, his lovely wife.
Yeah.
Who, if she heard me say she was a lovely wife, she would punch me in the fucking head, because that's not Ashley. Ashley's a badass through and through.
But people would pay to see that.
You know what? No, they wouldn't, because they'd be like,
Kickstarter,
that makes sense.
Kickstarter reward.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Just
have Ashley drop kick me. No, because they'd be like, that makes sense. Yeah, Ashley just punched Ben in the head. Wait, her Ben? No, the other Ben. Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. Like there are definitely podcasts. Look, so the first one I was on, it's a lot easier just to be like, the thing, because then the more you do it, the more it's like, well, shit, you fuckers, you heard you if you followed me on Instagram last time, you've heard all this already, right?
And it's one of those. It's weird that how quick friendships develop over podcasts.
I love them.
Because we have people in that I don't know.
Yeah.
One interview. And then you're like, hey, man, can I come back on? And now it's like, we've literally spent maybe 2 hours together.
True.
And it doesn't feel like it.
No. Well, that's because you're good at your job.
You hear that, Fish? Don't edit that fucking part out. Say something quick so you can't edit it out.
Tiger. Yeah, you do nothing or die. Why is that the first thing that comes to my head?
I have no idea. I'm like, how is Tiger? I'm like, I'm doing Tiger. And
I'm
like,
Tiger? Oh, no, I missed the
that
Tiger.
Was the thing. I'm like, that's it. Fucking take the Wikipedia page down right now. That's it. The Tiger's dead.
I sincerely regret that I missed you doing Tiger.
Dead.
That's dude.
No,
My
too late now.
My improv 101 skills are going right down the barrel. Dude.
Tiger's dead.
I did. I should get a refund from my what was that Second City class I took. I missed. You set it up, and it was like a perfect spike, and I railroaded you, dude, with some stupid
With Yankee Doodle,
which
is a weird one.
So
to
much
go
more
to.
embarrassing.
Were you like listening to that in the car?
I don't know. No, what was this? I was listening to a podcast in the car.
That's so weird that's what you went with.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast about food.
Maybe it's like it's July, so maybe it's.
Oh, I'm feeling it.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to give you a back door out, but
I'll take it, dude. I always take the back
door.
door.
What podcast were you listening about food?
Doughboys.
I know that one.
It's two cats doing reviews about food, and like they do it with sincerity that you would give to a Michelin star restaurant. They're very funny. It's really wonderful. They're coming here. I'm going to see them live. I realize now at 32 that I have more tickets to see podcasts live than I do concerts.
That's interesting.
That's entirely normal.
Yeah. It is for me certainly become the norm.
All right, so you have to recommend one podcast other than the Inebri-art podcast. What one is it?
Well, there's.
No, right now. Do it right now.
No. How did this get made? Which is like, but everyone knows that.
Oh,
one.
yeah. Do one that no one knows.
So I'm going to do Imaginary Worlds.
Okay.
Which is a direct quote, a show about imaginary worlds and how we build them. I'm Aaron Mankey.
I like Aaron Mankey.
Wait, is it? No, Aaron's
Mankey
lore.
does lore.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Oh, my God. This is so crappy because he's so good. Imagine you talks amongst yourselves. Fish.
Okay, so
Fish, you say something for a second while I don't look something up and remember it exactly.
Fish, can you
off the
believe
top of
these
my
guests
head.
who have to do their own research?
I'm just happy he's doing
I
it
feel
for
like
me.
this is your fucking show.
Yeah, where's the intern?
Yeah, there's
guys?
no internet down here.
No, the intern. I want the intern.
No, I get paid now. I don't have to do shit. I used to be the intern.
Well, I'm going to go with my recommendation.
Yeah, all right.
Sawbones.
Sawbones?
Sawbones. Do you know the McElroys? They have like a bajillion podcasts.
I don't.
So Sawbones, their tagline is a marital guide to misguided medicine. So the wife is a doctor, the husband plays the idiot, and they pick, a medical condition, say a thyroid problem, and they will go back to the earliest documentation they can find of thyroid problem. I'm a doctor. Thyroid problem? That's not even a thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, they will then proceed to go through history of how it was treated.
Do not forget to tell me about that again when we're off mic so I can actually look it up and save it.
Yeah,
because
okay.
That's a big yes.
It's amazing.
That's a big yes.
Because it always starts off with, strap a chicken to it, and when the chicken dies, you're cured.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Which is how I cure the sore throat.
Yeah.
I just literally wear a chicken like a scarf.
Yeah.
And when the chicken dies,
you're
I'm
usually healthy by then, or you have bird flu.
Let me avian flu making a comeback, guys, because
making a comeback.
Chicken scarves. Here, this is
to Imaginary Worlds, a show about how we create them and why we suspend our disbelief. I'm Eric Malinsky.
Eric Malinsky.
He does have a very Aaron Mankey sound to him.
Yeah. So he does the podcast, and he just literally picks any sort of creative thing. Like, it can be LARPing. It can be right now he's doing a whole thing about sidekicks. So he's doing like Tonto. He's doing Harley Quinn, and he
Fish.
Yeah. So you should be on there. What's going on?
You better talk to your agent.
I'm not imaginary.
Oh, that's a good point.
Thank God.
It gives you some nice. Clear.
Wait, you heard him, right?
I did hear that.
All right.
Yeah,
sweet.
no, you're good, dude.
Andy, you think all these podcasts edit themselves?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone hears them.
Well,
my mom does.
Yeah, your mom does.
Yeah,
for sure. She's. You know what? There's a big podcast lounge in heaven.
Yeah.
Where they all just, you know what?
Well, you just look at
can you imagine, like, remember when we were kids and it was like, I can't wait to get to heaven, man, because Jimi Hendrix is going to be playing with Jim Morrison, and, like, there's going to be a point where people are like, can't wait to get to heaven, dude, because Eric Malinsky's going to be interviewing Mark Maron.
That'd be amazing.
I can't wait to go to the YouTube influencer.
The YouTube influencer wing of
heaven.
Oh
yeah.
God, very few.
Do you think they're going to get to heaven?
No.
You're going to go in there. It's going to be like 3 people you've never seen.
Guys,
before.
I hate to break it to you, there are no makeup tutorials in heaven. It does not exist.
What about unboxings? There's got to be unboxings in heaven. Tell me there's unboxing in heaven.
I don't. The one thing that is weird is like because I work with kids when I'm at the comic conventions. That's what I do during the week, and they just love watching videos of other people doing things.
Yeah.
They would so much prefer to watch a person do a thing that they don't have to do. Play video games, buy toys and play with the toys, making like goo and like shit that we would just do instead of watching someone else do it. But the act of watching them do it is so much more enjoyable, it seems, for them than the act of actually doing it.
Did we talk about my weird YouTube channels that I watch?
No.
Was that with you? Because this has definitely come up on the podcast before. So the one that I have gotten to watch...
People stepping on meatloaf?
It is my guilty pleasure because I watch it. I don't really know why I watch it, but I watch it. Like, I'm like, ooh, it's coming out again this week. The Marblelympics.
Marblelympics, what is that?
This dude makes these elaborate Olympic events, these like tracks and whatnot, and then he races marbles.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
Strangely entertaining. It's very relaxing.
He like makes them. Like he takes time and builds these.
Oh yeah,
there's a contraption. It's great. Well, what's the Rune Goldberg machines? Right?
Yeah, kind of. Not quite that elaborate, but yeah, kind of.
Sure, no, but like it's that same concept of like, oh, you actually.
But then there's teams, and then I root for the teams.
That's pretty good.
Green Ducks came in second this year.
The Green Duck, because they didn't have that attitude.
Well, they were the first year they competed.
Who was number one?
Oh, fuck. Who won this year?
Oh, that was the first year they didn't have the resources and training facilities that the number one team had.
Well,
they're newcomers. They're plucky.
Silver
plucky ducks.
For first year, that's pretty fucking good.
Plucky ducks.
The hosting team, the Oceanics, came in last.
Well, because all of their
I can't believe I'm having this conversation.
Because their effort and energy went to hosting the event, right? You can't properly train and focus on hosting this event at the same time. It's not possible. And
your facility is always being redone to bring it up to Olympic level standards.
I do have an unrelated, kind of related question. Is there merchandise for this?
Yes.
So at some point you're thank God.
I was literally a Green Duck T-shirt.
I'm honestly, I need to know what to get him for Christmas. So.
And then I had an absolute fear of saying it. Someone would be like, "Is that a sports team?" Like, no.
Oh, dude,
it's for marbles.
For marbles. They're like, oh, cool. Like they play for marbles. No, the marbles are playing.
The marbles themselves, and they're named.
I'm more than happy now to wear obscure things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm wearing this shirt. It's Ben Franklin wearing aviators.
Yeah. And
I had this made, and this is the only one that exists, and I'm more than happy.
You cut the sleeves off
because it had too much fabric, Andy. But I will have to, especially Sawbones. I want to remember that one. But
I'll definitely let you know about that.
But yeah, no, I listen to mostly podcasts now because the music thing it's tough because I don't know, man. I guess I've just listened to so much music because you guys know that. I mean, that's why I did the album. We were musicians beforehand,
right?
And the only thing I do is I do this stupid thing for Source Point Press. It's called Sex Lump. And it is a fake band that we made up.
Okay, I feel like it's something you have to go get checked.
We were
sex lump checked
once a month, first day of the month. That way, it's a day that you remember, and that you just do a little check for the sex lumps. And if you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
But and also sex lumps are sexually transmitted as well. So, but only through docking. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
All right.
I mean, what?
Well, also you can get them from an Alaskan pipeline. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. Also, you.
You're not gonna fucking tell me what I gotta
the stream
Urban Dictionary. That
the Angry Dragon is another way that you can get sex lumps.
I feel like he's making up some of these.
I wish I was. I can tell you in detail what these things are. For some reason, when we were kids, it was like a thing that we just all became obsessed with. Like these. Yeah.
Because everybody knows Rusty Trombone.
And
so hang on.
Yeah, but do you know the chocolate eclair?
No,
then you haven't lived. But also, I'm Italian from Massachusetts, so I think maybe that was just like a pastry thing. We were like, "Hey, come on, you got to know the chocolate eclair. Hey, come on." Although I don't know if there's a Mike's cannoli. That might be the one where you stop. There's too much reverence. You're like, no, we can't.
So now, part of me wants to Google these. The other part is like, do you really want that in your search history?
No, you don't.
If you want, he can explain it. And I can just bleep the whole thing out.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Well, it's always funnier bleeped.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to tell people. You pick one. You want the Angry Dragon, the Alaskan? Actually, the Alaskan Pipeline is pretty good.
All right, give me the Alaskan.
Okay.
Don't wait. Don't give me the Alaskan Pipeline. Explain to me. Dude. I did that the other day. So
you did the Alaskan Pipeline? Why am I telling you about it?
He's not sure he did it
so
right.
I'm at work, right?
He wants pointers.
I'm at work, and we're filming this instructional video on how to install cable railing, because that's what I do. And, we needed something, and the guy I'm working with is like, well, I'm going to go find it. And I'm like, all right, well, you look, I'm going to go pee. And I'm like, wait. That's not what's going to happen.
That's really funny.
I'm like, well, you go look for that thing. I am going to.
And concurrently, although in separate locations,
I will be in the bathroom and you will be somewhere else. So Alaskan pipeline.
It's a real monkey's paw situation. Isn't it? Like if you had said that during the wish.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Like you had to be real specific about it. All right. So an Alaskan pipeline. Here's what it is. So you.
Okay.
Then you
that seems really difficult
so
to
that
do.
Yeah, well, you have to stretch it out first.
Okay.
Don't you put that in the freezer, you freeze and then you use that as a dildo. That's the Alaskan pipeline.
That sounds horrible. You don't understand. We don't take out a lot.
Oh, good.
Short of someone
it's
naming someone in a very bad situation. That's the shit that we like.
Well, also and lip smacks.
Cause that's usually the stuff.
I'm trying to breathe off the mic. Am I doing an okay job of it?
Hey, you haven't passed it out yet, so you're doing a great job breathing.
Oh, well, yeah.
Way to go.
Have you noticed, though, I'll be talking to this and just kind of like tilt my head. And then, have you not noticed this?
I usually just burp into the mic.
He does.
I mean,
oh, good.
You have a very low bar to get over.
Oh, fantastic. Never mind then. I wish that I had not done that from the start.
Look, I appreciate it. Fuck him.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
With an Alaskan pipeline?
Then he could just fuck himself.
With the context that you leave in, I hope people are now able to piece this together.
I don't think they'll be able to piece it together properly.
Well, it's a dietary issue.
Yeah. I had a salad for lunch.
So now, the Angry Dragon, on the other hand... No, I'm just kidding.
So you have a comic book.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, one more time. Let's go over where people can go to pledge money, because why wouldn't they now?
Yeah, sure. So I should add some new tiers, though, I think. So anyway, we're doing...
For $75, you get the Angry Dragon.
The Angry Dragon. And for $150, you get I'll create and give you the Mike's pastry.
And for $200, he won't.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So you can find me mostly on Instagram is what I do most of my stuff on these days, and that's at Mr. Ben AU, MRBENAU. A little play on the periodic tables there. My last name's Goldsmith. Huh? You like that?
I don't get it.
AU is the...
I know it's a sarcastic. I don't get it.
I can't tell what you
It's
don't
pretty
know.
sincere. I don't get it. I'm kind of feeling bad for him for a second.
I've seen the periodic table.
I felt bad for him for years.
Do you think that... I didn't mean to do this. Fish jab in there.
I didn't hear what he said.
Little fish jab.
It'll come... Yeah.
I'll listen back.
So I think I should use this as a test to be like, are we going to be friends or not? If I say Mr. Ben AU and they go, you can see the look in their eyes go like, oh, cool, periodic table. Or people go, oh, cool. The boobies on the Instagram.
Wait, there's boobies on the Instagram?
Somewhere on Instagram. Right. I have not seen them, nor do I know where to send you to. We'll talk. So, so you can find me at Mr. Ben AU, and then I have the new comics coming out. None of them are really out to the fall, because I even have the stuff with Mad Cave, which is this company that does like Battle Cats and the Knights of the Golden Sun and for Honor and Curse, and so I write for them now, and that book is going nationwide in the fall. So pretty much everything that I have been working on for the last 2.5 years is all going to the comic stores in the fall. So it's going to be a crazy time then.
So come December, Ben's going to be like, who the fuck are you guys? I'm not coming on your stupid show.
No, not a chance, dude. Not even close. You got at least another 3 years.
All right, that's fine. We can get him on two more times in 3 years.
No, what happens? I'll beg you to be on the show like I did this time too. I'm like, I have a new thing. Can I talk about it?
I was like, yeah. I don't know. I was begging.
I felt like I did a little begging.
Yeah. All I did was check to see on the calendar. I'm like, I feel like he was just here.
Oh man. But yeah, you guys can. So obviously keep a lookout for that stuff. But the big bad important one is the Indiegogo Kickstarter for Chongo, The Broken Veil. So please go check that out. Tell your friends, share it. Find me on Facebook, and that would mean the world. Thank you guys.
And if you find Ben on Instagram #TigersDead.
Oh, the tiger's
the tiger's
dead.
dead.
Pat's not going to be happy to hear that.
Well, you blew it, man. You had to go into the Beetle Bailey song. Or whatever
Beetle Bailey. Do you know what? I weirdly know that Yankee Doodle Dandy is. Wait, is that good? It's not. Oh man, now I messed it up. No, I thought I knew.
You're like, I weirdly know. Oh, maybe I don't.
Maybe I don't. Wait, oh shit! Because I did fucking theater, and we had to learn all about him. He did a whole bunch of shows, and oh my god, Fish, can you look it up?
What am I looking up?
Who wrote Yankee Doodle Dandy?
God damn
Hey, you
it.
think it's
George Cohen. George M. Cohen. Got it. Never mind. Don't look it up. Got it.
You sure it's not Leonard Cohen?
I'm positive. 'Cause it would have been like, he's a Yankee Doodle Dandy. See, he's like Dylan, but with somehow less musical notes.
Yeah.
I'm so not a fan of Leonard Cohen as a I love Randy Newman. Do you guys ever listen to Randy Newman, like properly listen to him as opposed to just a Family Guy, like the left foot, right foot? Like, he is a phenomenal songwriter, and he hits notes, and it's beautiful, and it's like he does everything that Leonard Cohen does, but with notes. So it just drives me crazy when Leonard Cohen
Wow.
I know.
We
You hit a note. You know, it's that, and the fucking Velvet Underground and Lou Reed.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way about them. I'm like, this is unlistenable. You love them, don't you?
No, I have no real I know who you're talking about, and I've heard their songs, and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, all right, yeah, yeah. You gave me a blank look there for a second.
No,
I
have no.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to defend this right now.
I literally have no horse in the race. Like, I
gotcha.
don't like or dislike.
Well, then, just because I'm your guest today, can you say?
Fucking horrible.
Can you say yeah?
Piece of shit.
And that's how you host a damn podcast, folks. You just placate and placate, and then bring up their dead dads.
Yeah, we did take a trip down Dead Dad Lane.
No, no. I mean, I don't regret it at all.
No, I don't
that
either.
Great.
It was good. So yeah, that's it. Bye, listeners.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Okay, thanks for checking out the podcast. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts on the Inebri-art Podcast Network. There's the Bar Talk. There's Old Colony Cast. There's, of course, the Inebri-art Podcast. And our latest, Retro Redoctopus, a kind of nerd genre podcast that you can check out now, all available on our website at inebri-art.com. And pretty much available everywhere that podcasts are available, on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all those things. And if you don't see it where you're looking, let us know. We'll try to get onto that as well. And you can also email us at inebri-art@yahoo.com with your questions, complaints, and suggestions. And also, if you could take the time to rate and review us on iTunes, that would be phenomenal. That helps us get more exposure and bring more of these great podcasts to your ears. And thanks again for listening.